Hello Israel, it's me, Red Planet, coming to you once again with another video. No rights to the video or music, strictly for educational purposes only. We're going to listen to Woodward TV speak about the Grand Canyon, a place where we are not allowed to go to, but they can go. Because from what I heard, there's supposed to be portals in the Grand Canyon that they cannot go through, but we can. Let's get into it, Israel. See what he got to say about this.
In 2009, the Arizona Gazette published a story about an explorer named G.E. Kincaid, who allegedly discovered an underground city within the Grand Canyon filled with Egyptian artifacts, mummies, hieroglyphics. And the article described a maze of tunnels and rooms. But of course, there has been no credible evidence found, and the Smithsonian Institution, which Kincaid claimed to be working for, has denied any involvement. So the story remains a legend. And this is one of a plethora of mysteries surrounding this place. I can see why someone would request this video, which comes from a viewer, ISO4CE. And thanks for posting this request. I believe I talked about the Grand Canyon and the Egyptian connection before. I'll try and find that video and link it up for you. But I do want to talk about how mysterious this place is. If there is a place that is a hub of strange and mysterious phenomena, it's the Grand Canyon. All these monumental locations have stories, legends, and sometimes a history of paranormal activity. And I'll talk a bit about those things in a moment. And the Grand Canyon gets about 5 million visitors per year. And out of the 5 million visitors per year, you can bet something strange, bizarre, weird is going to go down just based on probability alone. Unfortunately, some people never made it back home. I uploaded a video once about Niagara Falls. I think it was titled A Call to the Falls. And I mentioned how there is this energy that is pulling you towards it or drawing you to it, as people would say, even from very long distances. What do you say, folks? Do you feel drawn to the canyon? I'm sure this place is overdue for either a vacation to enjoy its beauty and...
No, we're not drawn to go to the Grand Canyon. The parts of the Grand Canyon we are not allowed to go to anyway, Israel. Right? Just like we are not allowed to go to Antarctica. Because supposedly there's portals that's there that we can actually go through and end up on the other side, a Garden of Eden. So no, we're not all that interested in breaking down the walls and the mountains to go to the Grand Canyon. But they are.
Wonder what to turn someone into the next great mystery. The Grand Canyon is definitely a place where the veil is thin. It seems to be a dwelling place. And it has been known to be a place that could swallow you whole. I was curious to take a look to see if anything has happened over at the Grand Canyon recently, and looky here. Missing Grand Canyon hiker found dead, marking park's 6th fatality in a month. What in the world is going on?
Could it be that Israel, he was somewhere where he had no business being? And that's why that happened? Because there's some parts of the Grand Canyon, Israel, that they're not allowed to go to. Just like parts of Antarctica, they're not allowed to go to. And this is why that happened, that took place, Israel. It's always going to be an area where it's off limits to the people. It's only for them in their so-called research that they're doing, Israel. But the Grand Canyon is always off limits to us. Because they know it's certain parts of the Grand Canyon that we can go through without any consequences or anything happening to us. But they can't. Because they know parts of the so-called Grand Canyon that they try to keep a secret, keep off limits. Even they can't go to it or go through it. But they'll never tell us. They'll just keep us away and say this part is forbidden, off limits. And that we can't go through it, Israel.
At the Grand Canyon, is this normal? 6 bodies in a month? Search and rescue teams discovered the body of a 60-year-old North Carolina man along the remote trail in the Grand Canyon, marking the 6th death in the park in less than a month. The National Park Service reported the hiker was found deceased Wednesday near a route connecting Lower Tapeats Camp and Deer Creek Camp, approximately 29 miles northwest of Grand Canyon Village on the south rim. The discovery came after the Grand Canyon Regional Communications Center received an alert about an overdue backpacker the day before. Park authorities reported the man's family notified officials around 4 p.m. Tuesday that he hadn't checked in, prompting an aerial search of the area. Authorities haven't released any additional information about the man, his family, or any potential factors that could have played a part in his death. This incident marks the 14th death in Grand Canyon National Park this year, and the 6th known death in less than 30 days, according to the Associated Press. Park officials said the average number of deaths per year typically ranges from 10 to 15. Also, just to add to this, it seems that 56 people have gone missing there since 2018. Apparently, this kind of thing happening at the Grand Canyon is normal. This is a mystery hub. This is a spiritual playground for malevolent entities. First of all, what is the Grand Canyon? I wouldn't...
If it's a place where it's for entities, demons, or fallen angels, it's only because of the portals that they got in my video I put out earlier. Portals that they have that's open. So it may be, Israel, the fact that there's in the Grand Canyon, that there's a portal that's open. And allowing entities to come through. Allowing it to come through, Israel. So it's not us, it's them. Because we are banned from going to the Grand Canyon. And it just might be entities that's in the Grand Canyon, at least part of the Grand Canyon. Part of the Grand Canyon that's off limit and forbid for us to go through. Now, I know it's the Grand Canyon is open to the public for people to go and look at the Grand Canyon, but only parts of it, just like it's only parts of it, like I said, in Antarctica, where you can go to. But who would want to go to a cold place like that? Israel.
Dumb things down so much as to say it's a big hole in the ground. But symbolically, it makes sense when the Hopi refer to it as a portal or entrance into the underworld. Some explorers and hikers claim to have experienced time anomalies while deep within the canyon, reporting feeling disoriented, losing track of time, or even encountering otherworldly visions. Their theories suggest a possible time vortex or portal to another dimension hidden within the canyon. In the Hopi tradition, the Grand Canyon is the site of the Sipapu. That's the place where their ancestors emerged into this world from the underworld. A small hole in the ground which is sacred and guarded by the spirits of their ancestors. The Hopi view the canyon as a spiritual landscape, and its significance extends far beyond what most visitors understand. The Hopi people, who have lived near the Grand Canyon for centuries, have prophecies that describe the canyon as a significant spiritual place connected to the emergence of different worlds. They believe it is a portal to the underworld guarded by powerful spiritual beings. According to Hopi legend, the Grand Canyon was the site where their ancestors emerged from a previous world. Keep in mind that their ancestors were supposedly guided by the ant people, who also may be connected to the ancient Egyptians. I'll get to that in a moment. Now, some visitors have reported strange occurrences after taking rocks or artifacts from the Grand Canyon, including illness, bad luck, and accidents. This is believed to be due to a curse tied to the sacred spirits of the Hopi and other Native American tribes that regard the canyon as a holy site. Many people have returned items with letters begging for forgiveness, claiming their lives were plagued by misfortune after taking something from the canyon. And yes, you don't take items from a place that's haunted. Duh. Everybody knows that. And what are you doing taking rocks home anyway? I guess people can literally get attached to any object.
So that's why I said, Israel, that is portals out there. Open doorways for demons, evil spirits, familiar spirits to come through. Because of different spirits that's out there and all that they do, doorways that they open. This is why they keep us away, because they don't want us knowing what their agenda is, Israel. But we already know what they're trying to do is not a secret anymore. Our eyes are open to what they're saying and what they're doing. So we know that there's portals out there. This is why you can only go to, like I said, certain parts of the Grand Canyon. We like to go to different areas to see what's really out there. But they're not going to let us. Because if they know, Israel, that there's some chance that if it's a portal out there, just saying, that we can possibly go through it and end up in a different dimension and possibly come back to be able to tell them everything that we saw. So this is why they don't want us to go in certain parts of the area of the Grand Canyon. But we're gonna do it anyway, Israel. One day.
And I guess so can spirits, which is why they follow you home after taking one of their favorite rocks. What are you going to do with it? Show your friends? Hey, look at this rock I picked up at the Grand Canyon. Ain't it cool? Oh, relax. I'm just being facetious. I like rocks too. But
I've paid into Social Security every paycheck. Mike Rogers took over $500,000 from Wall Street and supported privatizing Social Security. I'd lose my guaranteed benefits while his donors make a fortune. We can't let Mike Rogers take away our benefits.
I grew up always on the bigger side as a kid. I was always slightly thicker, big bone.
You know, the Grand Canyon is like a graveyard of history. Some of you may have heard of Skeleton Cave, or the Skeleton Cave Massacre. Around 75 dead and over 25 survivors. You can look that up about the Yavapai tribe. On December 28, 1872, Captain William H. Brown led 130-man force on an approach to a cave occupied by the Yavapai warriors. When Major Brown called for surrender, the Yavapai responded with firing arrows and shouting threats. The soldiers used ricocheting bullets to strike the warriors inside the cave, and thus provoking them to counterattacks. The Yavapai's resistance ended when Troop G of the 5th Cavalry rained rocks and bullets from an overhead position, leaving the cave filled with the dead. When you have violent deaths like this happen in a place scattered throughout the Grand Canyon, it results in these stories about hauntings, Phantom Ranch ghosts. Visitors to the Phantom Ranch have reported seeing ghostly apparitions, including a man in a Civil War uniform. They're coming in as apparitions of the past. I mean, what do you expect? They call the place Phantom Ranch for a reason. By the way, the landscape there is unbelievable. I wouldn't mind going there. I didn't have to deal with whatever I had to deal with, but look at that. You know, some have reported hearing the cries of a woman along the canyon's north rim, believed to be the spirit of a heartbroken mother searching for her lost children. Awful. Some hikers report hearing voices carried on the wind, which sound like whispers or faint conversations. And of course, they're in remote, hard-to-reach areas, and they're sometimes attributed to the spirits of ancient tribes or lost explorers, if that makes them feel better. Some hikers and campers have reported hearing unexplainable sounds such as singing, chanting, or mechanical noises coming from deep within the canyon, especially at night. Theories range from natural acoustics amplified by the canyon walls to supernatural explanations involving spirits or ancient beings. And then there are places on the Grand Canyon map that have reputations. Bright Angel Trail is one of the most popular paths, yet it has a dark reputation due to its...
So you see, Israel, a certain path that they have you go to, just like they'll give you a pamphlet that leads you to certain areas of the Grand Canyon. If you're new there, if you've never been to the Grand Canyon, even if you have been, it's a certain path that you can go to, and a certain path that's forbidden, that's off limits. Because those are the paths where they have the doorways to different dimensions. And they don't want us there searching around trying to go through them. So this is why they say that people that go to the Grand Canyon always come out missing. Yeah, I'm sure they do. If they're going through the portals, they're going to come up missing. Because I think the person that goes through the portal wouldn't want to come back, especially if they see what they see and they like it.
Switchbacks and fatal accidents. Some hikers claim to have seen ghostly apparitions along the trail, including the spirits of lost pioneers or miners, if that makes them feel better. John Wesley Powell led several expeditions into the Grand Canyon in the 19th century, with many men dying under mysterious or violent circumstances.
And I wonder when he was doing his expedition what it was that he saw. Because I'm sure that those areas that was forbidden he was able to go through. Not saying he was able to go through the portals, but he definitely was able to go certain parts of the area where we're not able to go through, even back then. And you can only imagine what it was he saw.
Powell's journals mention strange occurrences such as unexplained noises at night and equipment disappearing without explanation. The Grand Canyon has been the setting for numerous reported sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptid creatures. Hikers and campers have claimed to see large ape-like figures moving through the forest and along the canyon's trails. Some indigenous stories of Big Man. It's a UFO hotspot. Any place that we want to go see, they want to go see. With reports of strange lights and unidentified flying objects frequently surfacing. Some claim to have seen mysterious craft hovering over the canyon.
If it's unidentified flying objects hovering over the Grand Canyon, Israel, it's only because that's their, that's their spaceship that they created to make it look like we got ETs in the Grand Canyon flying around in spaceships. Why would they want to waste their time flying around in spaceships over the Grand Canyon? Excuse me, Israel, when they know that there's nobody out there. You may have one or two tourists, but that's about it. Because at night it gets so dark, the temperature goes down, it gets so cold that you have to be back in your car and out of there just to keep from getting hypothermia and getting cold and dying. So the entities is going to waste their time flying around in spaceships. I don't think so, Israel. I think that's all them.
Similar to the Marfa-lights in Texas. There are always rumors about secret locations within the Grand Canyon, legendary paths, caves, caverns. Hidden underground waterfalls are said to exist, accessible only through paths known to very few. These secret waterfalls supposedly harbor healing powers and were once used by ancient Native American tribes for spiritual rituals. Some explorers have reported finding a cave with a perfectly round dome shape, which is not typical of natural canyon formations. Inside, they describe strange carvings, symbols.
Project 2025 seems harmless, but it will give Trump power like no president has ever had over your daily life. His plan includes a nationwide abortion ban, ripping away access to contraception, eliminating the Department of Veterans.
Switch to Google Fi Wireless today and start your phone plan right away. It's quick and easy and affordable.
Legends speak of gigantic skeletons discovered within some of those caves. Speaking of giants, the Babylonian sky god was called Anu, right? Which is interesting when you compare it to the Hopi language where ant is also referred to as Anu and friends as Naki. The Hopi term Anunnaki, meaning ant friends, could be connected to the Sumerian Anunnaki. There's even a suggestion that the ant people were present in ancient Egypt. Pharaoh Akhenaten is often depicted with physical traits reminiscent of an ant, I guess you could say. His elongated skull mirrors the shape of an ant's head, while his almond-shaped eyes and long neck resemble those of an insect. Also, his limbs segmented body appears similar to the feral ant, which is from West Africa, which is characterized by a long head, reddish brown body, and a darker abdomen with a stinger. These stories definitely add to the mystique of the Grand Canyon, painting it not just a natural wonder, but a place full of secrets, legends, and unexplained phenomena. It sounds just like my kind of place. I can't wait to visit. Anyway, that's all for now, and there is more to come. I do have a recommended video for the day. Watch that video. It will be linked on screen at the top right corner of this video.
So whatever is going on in the Grand Canyon, Israel, they definitely don't want us to know. So they'll tell and say anything they possibly can to keep us out. Even so much as seeing that the Grand Canyon now have UFOs flying around, picking up people. And we know that's not true. Right, Israel? Much love.